Let's talk about uplighting. Hey, it's KANOYA, DJ, business coach, and idea sharer. And in this video, we're talking about lighting, but specifically uplighting, and why I think it's one of the easiest upsells. I just want to start off by talking about just how important lighting is and what a difference it makes. I mean, even when we talk about making this video, right? I've got a light right here. I've got one over here that enhances this side of my face. And of course, you know, even in the background, we've got uplighting, which just makes everything about this video just looks so much better. I have a strong feeling that there are probably two different groups of DJs watching this video right now. Either you're looking to invest in uplighting, or you've made the investment but are looking for ideas on how to sell the service. To appease both groups, this video will be answering 3 key questions that are probably on your mind. Is uplighting a worthy investment? How quickly can I make my money back? And of course, how do I sell it? Let's start with, is it worth it? Obviously, the answer to this question is yes. Otherwise, why would I be making this video? And I get it, uplighting is expensive. It's not even something that you could just ease into. You're looking at spending anywhere from $250 to $400 on, at the very least, 12 fixtures, because I mean, you really can't offer uplighting service with much less. Worth is a relative term to each individual person. I mean, when I'm spending money on DJ equipment, I'm hoping that that new gear will either enhance my events or enhance my productivity. There are these rare exceptions when you can find something that helps productivity and is also a show enhancement. Wireless battery-powered uplighting is one of those things that fits into both categories. It enhances our events because it can make a room beautiful, but it also improves productivity because if you are setting up any other type of wired lighting, battery-powered is just a whole different world. Of course, none of this worth talk matters if it takes months or even years to get a return on this investment. So how long did it take for me to make my money back? Well, let's pull up a chair and let's listen to the story on how I made back nearly $5,000 in less than 1 year. Back in September 2016, I purchased 16 Chauvet Freedom Park Quad 4s, 4 carrying bags, because each bag fits 4 fixtures, and 1 Flarecon Air, the wireless DMX transmitter to control the fixtures. This purchase rang up at a whopping $4,805. And it kind of hurts to say that, even though I know I've doubled my investment on this a few times. The first event I used my lights at, where I actually charged for them, was November 5th, so a couple months later. Before that, I had about 10 events that I was able to bring some or all of my lights to solely for marketing purposes. These events gave me the opportunity to not only get the hang of setting up my lighting, but also photograph my lighting. I'll get into the importance of this very soon, but setting up my lights for free for clients that had already booked my services, without lighting of course, was key to promoting and securing my uplighting services for future events. After that wedding on November 5th, I started a little chart to track just how long it would take to pay off this purchase. I set up a formula where the starting number was $4,805, and each time I would add an event and what I charged for uplighting, the total I paid would get smaller. This carried on through the end of the year and into the beginning of 2017. As I was setting up my event, I was photographing and also getting a better sense of what the extra labor would be in providing uplighting services. By midsummer of that year, I was close to breaking even. And on Labor Day weekend, 2017, just a few weeks shy of the 1-year anniversary of my purchase, I finally was out of the red and started to see my uplighting as a profit center for my business. And you can see I continued to keep track all the way through mid-2018, and for some reason I just stopped, but you can see that within a couple of years, uplighting generated nearly $6,000 for me. I'm certainly not claiming that getting out of the red in just under 1 year is fast, but I was pleased with that pace. But ultimately, there was a reason that I was able to go from $4,800 in the hole to being in the positive, and that was through specific marketing tactics and confident selling techniques. Here are a few tips on how I sell my uplighting services. As the old adage goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I certainly do mean pictures. While video is certainly acceptable, photos of uplighting, especially when done well, can really sell themselves. Now, how do you get these photos? Well, you just need to start bringing them to your events. As I mentioned earlier, when I received my lights, I had several events already booked, of course none of which had booked my uplighting services. But those events were the perfect opportunity for me to set them up and take photos. The first event I brought them out to was in a large warehouse style venue. It has super high ceilings and metal columns that are just meant to be uplit. And just to reiterate, this isn't something where you call your client and say, hey, I just got new lighting. Would you like me to add that to your contract for $500? No, just bring it, even if it's just a view. For the most part, this will be a nice surprise, and it really plays into the mantra of over-delivering for your client when it comes to customer service. Now, once you've compiled a few quality photos, start promoting. This could be by sharing them on Instagram or other social media platforms, but I would highly recommend creating a page on your website that points out the added service you offer. On my site, I have uplighting listed under my services menu. I've got a description of what I offer and, of course, a carousel of photos. Having a section of your website dedicated to the service is a great place to refer potential clients to ask about the service, but also to suggest the service. In all of my emails with proposals attached, if the potential client has not specifically asked about uplighting, I put a link in my email just suggesting that they take a look and consider if this is something they're interested in. And bonus points if you have photo examples with uplighting at their venue. If you don't, just Google image search for some examples. And I'm not saying you should steal someone else's photos. In fact, do not do that. I would specifically state that you found a photo, not yours, of what lighting looks like at the venue. But this also actually leads me to a little bonus tip, and that's about properly naming your photos. Potential clients are searching for decor ideas for their wedding venue on Google. And if your photo shows up in their search and they haven't hired a DJ yet, they might be giving you a call. I'm not guaranteeing that you would be found with naming your photo something like Grand Fairmount Ballroom Uplighting. It just has a much better chance of being found in Google image search than a default file naming like DSC_2837. And lastly, this isn't really so much a tip, but it's something that has become a realization for me when I had wireless battery-powered uplighting. While I certainly had an incentive to sell my uplighting as much as possible because I needed to pay off that $4,800 bill, I was just much more confident selling them because for the most part, they don't take that much effort to set up. And yet, the results from setting them up looks like I hired a lighting designer and a union labor team to set them all up. I mean, I remember when I had wired lighting that also was controllable via physical DMX cables. Those were such an effort to set up that sometimes when someone would ask if I offered uplighting, I would reluctantly say, yeah. And I'm sure in my body language, you could tell while I had it to offer, it wasn't something that I really wanted to go through the effort of setting up. But with battery-powered fixtures being a quick setup, I'm almost disappointed when people don't add them on. So that's a look at my journey with uplighting. I'd like to hear from you, especially if you've been on the fence about whether you're ready to make that leap, that expensive leap, I realize, that expensive leap into uplighting. But I'm gonna let you know that as long as you've got some consistent events, this is without a doubt an investment that's going to pay off fairly quickly. If you like this video or you found it helpful, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more DJ tips just like this. Thank you for watching. I'm DJ Kanoya, and I'll see you next time online.